30 minutes past the hour, 73 degrees in downtown Sylacauga. DeCorey Hale joins us today, and school bells will be ringing before you know it. And DeCorey, when I was in school, we didn't have all the opportunities we have now as far as supplies and stuff goes. It was like a pencil and a notebook.
Right.
But, kids need so much more today. Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
And we got a big event coming up on August the 6th, a back-to-school event at J. Craig Smith Community Center. How did this come about, DeCorey?
Well, actually, I have a friend, Brian Smith. We went to college together, Alabama State University. And we both went our separate ways after college, but somehow we found ourselves involved with kids, involved with charity work and giving back. And a couple years ago, he reached out to me after I had written my first book. And he said, well, hey, I'm doing a couple of giveaways every year in Montgomery. Would you like to come down and help out? I was doing a couple up here, but I said, hey, I'd love to help out. Love to reconnect with a good friend. And here we are.
So I saw last week where teachers on average, this was in 2019, the latest survey, that they were spending some $500 out of their own pockets every year for school supplies for their kids.
Absolutely. Well, and that goes back to me being a children's author and actually being in the schools and, speaking with not only the teachers, but the parents and the students as well. There are a lot of sacrifices, not only with parents, but with teachers as well, because they are severely underfunded. And they don't really have the essentials that they need, so they have to compensate by coming out of their pocket. And as we know, teachers really don't make enough as it is, and so they're already taking a dent before they even start.
So what's going to be happening at J. Craig on the 6th?
Well, we're gonna have entertainment, a couple of surprises. Brian won't even tell me what they are.
Some friend you are.
Right, some friend I am. He's keeping me in the dark for a minute. But we're going to give away backpacks. We're going to have tables set up full of school supplies so the kids can come through and get their, receive their supplies, and we'll talk to them and we'll just have a good time.
So where do the supplies come from? Are they donated or what?
They're donated. I know I bought a bunch of stuff. We had, people from the community purchased a bunch of stuff. Brian grabbed a lot of things himself, but I wanted to shout out a couple of people. You have the Right Step, which is a community organization, and they like to give back to the community as well. The Kiwanis Club of Sylacauga, the Lions Club of Sylacauga, Chick-fil-A of Sylacauga, Sylacauga Police Department, and of course the Blue Heart Foundation.
Yeah. DeCorey Hale is our guest this morning, and we got an event coming up, J. Craig Smith Community Center, back to school event on August 6th, and it's from 3 till 5:30. Now, what do the kids need to do and parents need to do to get in on this?
Just show up.
Oh, wow.
That's it. There's no registration. There's no calling ahead of time and reserving anything. Just show up and we'll take care of you. Make sure you get out of there with a backpack full of supplies.
So what are some of the supplies that children need in this day and time?
Anything from pencils, pens, of course, basics. We have college rule and wide rule because we know we'll be looking at a variety of students. Mm-hmm. We have some calculators, things like that, erasers, and crayons, construction paper for the kids.
Now, is this going to be for the younger kids all the way to seniors in high school, or what?
Yes, sir. All of them, and that was that was kind of to my point with the wide rule paper as well as the college rule. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to cover everybody. We don't want to, we don't want anyone to come in and we turn them away because we're not equipped with what they need.
Yeah. Now, kids are kind of your heart, aren't they, DeCorey?
Absolutely. I love what I do. I love being out here and talking to them, not only in the role of a children's author, but as a community organizer and actually getting out here and talking to the kids, boots on the ground, and just having fun with them and, just letting them know that I'm here for them. A lot of people in the community are here for them, so they're not alone.
Speaking of children's author, DeCorey, is that where are we at on your book writing right now?
Well, I'm actually working on the third. My second one, The Numbers Ranch, published it in December 2020. Of course, it was a COVID year.
Yeah.
But we made it. We made it happen. Working on the third one now, so hopefully at the beginning of next year it'll be out.
What got you started writing?
Well, I actually started, 14 years ago. My oldest daughter, Nyla, she's 16 now, and I started writing her bedtime stories when she was 2. We were going to the library and picking out so many books, and after a while, we just get bored, and from reading the same books over and over. And so I asked her. I said, "Well, would you like for me to write your bedtime stories?" Of course, she agreed. But at the time, she had really severe allergies. And it would get to the point where, she would go into these coughing fits or sneezing fits, and she wouldn't stop until she got some relief. And so in pre-K, kids can be kind of harsh. And so a lot of her friends were like, "Well, we're not going to talk to you anymore because we don't understand what this is." And the other friends were like, "Well, we're just going to make fun of it," because at that age, unless it's a tummy ache, they don't really understand what's going on. And so in the midst of me writing her bedtime stories, I was writing one per week. And so I slid in a story just to let her know that it was okay to be different, even though she had these allergies. And that, that story, as we know, is Ebenezer the Sneezer.
Yeah.
So, I just let her know that it's okay to be different. And I tried to let the kids know that I talked to that it's okay to be different, because we're all having different hair color, skin color, eye color, things we like to eat, things we don't like to eat, things we have in common and what we don't. But at the end of the day, we're still more alike than we are different because we're human.
Yeah, kids are kids, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. Kids are kids.
DeCorey Hale, our guest this morning, and kid's book writer, and he's also really involved in our community. As someone who has been involved with our children for a number of years, what are you telling kids today? It's a different world we live in now, DeCorey.
It is, but you just have to tell them to be grounded. And one of the things that I tell them, I actually give them 2 points. I tell them that they can be whatever they want to be, because I tell them when I come in, I try to tell the teachers, don't, if I get in there in enough time, I tell the teachers, don't tell them what I do. Don't tell them why I'm here. Say that I'm here to read a book, but kind of leave it at that. And so when I get there, I tell, I always ask, "Hey, what do you guys think I do, or what do you think I'm here for?" And in 5 years since I've written and published Ebenezer the Sneezer, I've never heard anyone tell me that I was a children's author without being prompted beforehand. And I love that because now I get them to think outside of the box. I get them to look at someone that doesn't look like a typical children's author, and they can look at me and they can relate to it. They can say, "Well, hey, this guy has a big beard and tattoos everywhere, and he's kind of cool, and he's having fun."
Who is this guy?
Right? Who is he, and how can I be like that? Because honestly, when I was in school, we had a couple of authors would come to school and they would do presentations, but I never looked at one and said, "Well, you know what? I can relate. I can be that guy." So fortunately, I'm blessed enough that I can be that guy for somebody else.
Who is DeCorey Hale? People who don't know it, people watching across the state of Alabama, who is DeCorey Hale?
You put me on the spot. I hate talking about myself, but I'm a children's author. I'm a father. I'm a community organizer. I do a lot. I'm on a couple of boards here in Sylacauga, lifelong resident. Work for Alabama Power, 15 years now. So, but most of all, I'm someone that loves the community, and I love what I do. I love to give back. I love to do whatever I can to help the next person.
All right, so tell us again what's going to be happening August the 6th down at J. Craig.
Myself and the Blue Heart Foundation, 334, founded by Brian Smith. We're hosting a back-to-school supply drive, 3 to 5 at J. Craig Community Center. It will be August the 6th.
Now, usually a lot of kids and their parents make these events. Is it going to be enough to go around, you think?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We made sure when we asked our sponsors, we made sure to try to overcompensate. And I was actually at the Lions Club meeting a couple of days ago, and they voted right then. They made a motion and voted that if we didn't have enough, to just let them know,
Okay.
and they would provide extra. So
Yeah. Before we go this morning, school will start back in just a couple of weeks. Speak to kids and parents and grandparents this morning about the school year, and there's a lot of opportunities out there for children that maybe I didn't have when I was growing up.
absolutely, there a lot of initiatives, a lot of programs after school. Because, like you said, when I was growing up, we had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of programs after school, but now you can basically pick what you want to do. You have a choice. There's so many things, just depending on what you want to do. They have things catered. They have programs catered towards what your interests are. But I look forward to this year because myself and another author friend of mine were actually talking about it, and we just said that this will be the first full year that we'll have as far as school visits and getting out and talking to the community and getting out and talking to the teachers in 2 years, almost 3 years, because of COVID. So we're pretty excited about it. We're pretty excited to actually be starting our rounds in August as opposed to January or even May of a year. So we're excited about it.
How can they get you booked?
Well, if you're in Sylacauga, you can just call me, or you probably
pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple. Or you can find me in the store somewhere. But seriously, www.DeCoreyHale.com. I kept it pretty simple, so anybody can remember it. But that's how to order it.
All right, DeCorey Hale, children's author, and a big part of the Back to School event at J. Craig Smith Community Center coming up August 6th from 3 to 5:30. DeCorey, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely, thank you.
More Daybreak right after this.